Today, I'm going to give you 9 ways you should be using AI to build your business. I guarantee you that by the time you finish this video, you will have tools for building your business much faster. For me, AI has allowed me to build my business about 3 times more efficiently, probably more. That's a conservative estimate. Okay, 9 ways. Way number 1, for creating a blog post. Now, I'm going to take you through my transcribed video. Check this out. I'm going to paste my transcribed video here. Now, unfortunately, ChatGPT does not transcribe for you at this time, but Gemini does. And that's a free version of Gemini, by the way. So you can use Gemini to do that. Just put a link to a video in there. It'll transcribe it. And I'm going to say, turn this into a blog post. Keep it my style. Do not veer from the main message, but make it a bit punchy. Include subheaders and sections. All right, here we go. Watch what it does. That took about 2.5 seconds. Now, this does not mean this is my final product, but it saves me so much time. I still created the content, but what it did is it saved me time of having to take a video transcript, which is worded differently, and it wrote it down. Let's look at it. Just focus on today. It's easy to wake up feeling overwhelmed. You got a business to build, 1,000 tasks pulling at you. It feels like you're already behind and the day hasn't even started. But there's something I remind myself of every morning. Each day has enough trouble of its own. Matthew 6:34. This is pretty good. And look, it has a subheading for each part. That's pretty good. Notice also I told it to make it a little more punchy. That's why it has a lot of short sentences. I do that because most people don't have the time or the patience to read big paragraphs. So I try to make it a little more TikTok-ish, but for a blog post. By the way, what I just did is I repurposed content. A video script can become a blog post. A blog post can become an Instagram carousel. An Instagram carousel can become an X post. So don't miss out on this opportunity. When you create content, you can repurpose it for all these different platforms. Just don't post the same thing on all the platforms all the time, because then you just kind of become redundant and it might derank some of your postings. Adjust it so it fits the style of that platform. Number 2, for creating thumbnails. Now, this is really interesting. We pay about $20 a month for ChatGPT to create thumbnails for me. And there's this book that I read to my kids when they were young. It's called Pilgrim's Progress by John Bunyan. It is the second most read book in the history of the world other than the Bible. But this version of it was called Dangerous Journey. And it had these amazing medieval hand-drawn, amazing art on the pages. So what I did is I got about 18 different pictures, and I think it only allowed me to upload 10 or 11, but I uploaded them to ChatGPT and said, anytime I say use PP style, PP standing for Pilgrim's Progress, use this style. And so watch what happens. Here we go. Create an image 16 by 9 using PP style that shows a man with a broken arm and a sling fights one-handed with the sword up a jagged mountain crag against a horde of goblins while it's thundering lightning flashes. Okay, let's see what it creates. I love this. You kind of get an idea of the style, my style of art that I love. Okay, here it is. This is pretty cool. And you can see that was one try. And look at this. Look at these goblins down here, the lightning and the guy. And at least it's his left arm in a sling, not his right, because I'm assuming he's right-handed. Now, I did something wrong on purpose. Watch this. This is 16:9. For my blog posts, it needs to be 3:2 aspect ratio. So watch. Okay, so this is a perfect example how ChatGPT and AI is not perfect. I say create this for a blog post thumbnail. I already told it, saved it in its memory, that anytime I ask for a blog post, it has to be 3:2. But notice up here, it did 16:9, and here it still did 16:9. So I need to correct that. However, notice also that the second one is in color. It's because I didn't say include the PP, Pilgrim's Progress style, and therefore just create an image, which is not a bad image. Like, that is pretty good. Now, let's say I'm struggling with figuring out the idea for the blog thumbnail itself. And let's say the blog title is, give me thumbnail ideas for a blog entitled The 8 Laws of Successful Entrepreneurship. Notice it said punchy, curiosity driven, because it knows my style. It saved it. Now, something you need to know about ChatGPT and probably most AI is it will not save the memory of everything you put into one chat. So if you have to move to a new chat or it maxes out and says start a new chat, you need to tell it what you need it to remember across all chats. I don't have to go re-upload 9 to 10 images from Pilgrim's Progress to still get the PP style of images. See? So check this out. Here we go. Now it's giving me some ideas. Thumbnail ideas for a blog. Okay, that's text. That is not what I want. I want image ideas for the thumbnail. Okay, let's see what it says. Yeah, that was going like with titles. Okay, perfect. An ancient stone tablet with 8 glowing runes etched into it, resting on a pedestal, and a dark forest, subtle cross carved into one corner. Oh my goodness, I have to see what this is. Make this an image and use PP style. Here we go. Okay, that is pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. That glow impressed me. And it knows I love crosses because I follow Yeshua of Nazareth, so it likes to throw them in there every now and then. That's not bad at all for a thumbnail image. Okay, very nice. Okay, the next one. Use AI for brainstorming. Let's just say, for example, you need ideas on picking a topic that reflects your skill sets. All right, this will be fun. So you're just trying to get an idea. Remember, this doesn't guarantee the market wants it. I have training on that. But man, this can speed you up. So let's just say I have experience as a plumber. I don't, but let's just say I did. A plumber, sales agent, office equipment purchaser. And even if you misspell, it kind of is pretty forgiving. And team manager. Okay. What skill sets can you draw out from these roles that could be turned into a course topic that I make and sell? Now, you could sit down at Google and just take hours to figure that out. And then 50 years ago, you could have gone to a library to try to figure it out, or talk to a bunch of people, or do a focus group. But here, look at this. It's already appearing. I didn't have to speed up the video within seconds. Okay, let's just get some ideas. So plumber, skill sets, hands-on technical expertise, course idea. Okay, this is cool. I love how ChatGPT organizes stuff. It is the best at this. Grok is less biased. ChatGPT can be very woke, which bothers me because it's not objective. Grok is better at just being blunt about the truth. But when it comes to creativity and organization, man, no one beats ChatGPT. Look at this. Plumbing for new homeowners. What every DIYer should know. Or the trade blueprint. Get into plumbing without going broke. Okay, sales agent. Sales skills for tradesmen. Aha, see what it did? It combined my experience as a plumber with my experience as a salesperson and put it together. Brilliant. Office equipment purchaser. Smart small biz purchasing. Cut costs without cutting corners. Nice, that's kind of nifty. Business buying secrets. A blueprint for smart operational spend. The pure procurement pro. Okay, team manager. Lead like a boss even if you're not one yet. Blueprint to building a high trust team in 30 days. And now, look at this. It's giving me combined niche angles. From tools to team, how I turn trade work into scalable income, how blue collar skills made me a white collar income online. That's interesting. That's creative. The cool thing is it's taking context and bringing it together and organizing and synthesizing that information. I love it. Now, let me just give you another idea. If you're trying to brainstorm, maybe you're thinking, what are all the ways I could market my course? Well, again, instead of going to Google and going through a bunch of pages, this will do it for me. Why not just ask? So what are all the ways I can market my course? Here we go. Let's see. Here's a comprehensive list. Personal authority, organic influence, YouTube channel, email list. Yep. Instagram Reels. Nice. So organic. Paid ads. Yep. Direct outreach. So you're like literally DMing people, cold emailing, asking for referrals. Partnerships. Okay. Like leverages, collabs with other companies who have similar clients but the company you're not in competition with. Value-based lead magnets. Yep. You give something away for free of high value in return for their information. Then you market to them. Funnel-driven marketing. Cool. I mean, within seconds, it pulled up all the big ones. This is really good. Okay. Let me give you another one. For solving a problem. Now, this is really helpful. I literally use this one today. So I'm sharing with my following that you only need 400 clients to buy your $2,500 course, which is a super low price, to make $1 million. Think about that, 400 people. Now, someone might think, whoa, I have to get 400 sales. That's so many. Really? out of 8.2 billion people in this world. And then I thought, you know what percentage is 400 of 8.2 billion? Now I know it's 400 divided by 8.2 billion, but my goodness, that's going to take a while. Even Spotlight won't do it. It doesn't have enough room. So I'm just going to ask it, what percentage is 400 of 8.2 billion? And watch what it does. It's going to give it to me. There we go. Boom. 5 zeros, 488%. And so see how quick that was? That was a good use of AI. I wasn't losing my own personality and touch. I was speeding up what I would have had to do anyways. I'm not going to write it out. So why not go faster and use AI to speed up my time? Okay, the next one is creative ideas. This is one of my favorite. Right now, I've been using Gamma to create slides. I used to use Google Slides, but now I use Gamma for my mini course. And let's just say I want emojis to make it a little more interesting. And I'm trying to communicate the concept of trust. Well, I could go through all the emojis and look forever to find what makes sense, but why not come here and say, I need emoji ideas that communicate trust. And let's see what it says. Okay. Again, it breaks it into categories: clear and professional, warm and relational, authority and consistency. Okay, heart, hands, handshake, speech bubble, hug face. Got it. More professional: a scroll, a handshake, a receipt, a shield. Yep. A bar chart, uptrend, brain. And I could even use a combination, maybe the heart, hands, and the hug, or the speech bubble and the scroll, or the handshake. That took seconds. Literally, I only need like 2 more seconds to decide what I'm going to use. I plop it in. I'm not spending all my time looking at all these emojis, wasting my time. I'm going to do something interesting. I'm going to go back to that blog post and I'm going to ask it to create a funnier, punchier version of this blog post. Let's try this, okay? So let's go back to it way up here. I mean, look at all this that's already been done since you and I have been talking. Okay, here we go. All right, we're going to grab the raw version. This is the transcript from the video, okay? And I'm going to say, create a funny blog post using this video transcript. Keep the same message, but make it comical. All right. And then if you hit Shift Enter, it will do new spaces. There's the transcript. Let's see what it does. Well, that took a long time. All right. Business is overwhelming, but so is laundry. Let's be real. Some mornings you wake up ready to conquer the world. Other mornings you stare at the ceiling wondering if your to-do list is breeding overnight. Building a business is a lot. Your brain's juggling funnels, emails, legal stuff, content, taxes. And why is the toilet making that noise again? Okay, this is good. Like already it's using humor and making it interesting in case you want a more lighthearted version of your blog post. Next, use AI for grammatical assistance. Now, this is no excuse if your grammar's sloppy and you just use it to keep that weakness weak. That's not what I'm talking about. But let me give you an example. Real life example, by the way. The other day, I was using an illustration from Les Miserables, one of my favorite plays, on how to pronounce the bishop of Digne. How do you pronounce? Whoops. How do you pronounce? And I'm going to add context from the play. Always add context if you can. Like think about, if you just Googled this, what if it's referring to a completely different bishop from a different time and it's pronounced differently, or from a different language? Well, this one is French, so it's going to be pronounced a certain way. I give it context by saying, this is from the play Les Miserables. Here it is. Digne. Very easy. Digne. Boom. The bishop of Digne. That was helpful. Let me give you another example. What if you're writing and you need some synonyms because you keep using the same words over and over again? So I'm going to say, give me synonyms for principle, hack, and guide. And Seth can spell so nicely. There we go. Okay, boom. Let's see what it says. Nice. So it broke them down to categories. Principle. It gave me all these words. Hack. Trick. Cheat code. Power move. Method. This is funny. Ninja move. Playbook. Roadmap. A network error. Every now and then it does this. It's kind of a pain. There we go. It's just redoing it. Okay, perfect. There we go. Guide, playbook, roadmap, blueprint, manual. That was quick. I have plenty to pull from now. Next one, for technical assistance. Use AI for technical assistance. Let me give you a classic one I used the other day. How do I transfer ownership of a Google Doc to a new owner? This is technical. I could Google that, but guess what? ChatGPT is going to give it to me much more clearly and much more quickly. By the way, AI makes mistakes, as you saw before. Even in its research, I've had to correct it before and say, no, that's the wrong year. And it'll go, oh, you're right. Thanks for correcting me. And hopefully it updates its files. Here we go. It tells me step by step, open the Google Doc, click the share button, enter the email address, click the drop down, confirm, and then gives me important notes beside it. Perfect. Okay, the next one, for general research. I'm gonna give you another real life example. Again, using Google or Bing or DuckDuckGo is gonna be a lot slower than using ChatGPT. But I was researching commercials. I love commercials. I love studying what makes them work. And there was this particular commercial about Skittles. So I said, what year did the Skittles commercial come out? It was about a kid throwing Skittles through his girlfriend's bedroom window. Okay, and it's gonna give me the answer, and it might even add a little more information. There we go. The boy throws Skittles. Okay, in 2017, it was a Super Bowl advertising campaign called Romance. There you go. Boom, done like that. Let me do one more for general research. Here we go. Let's try one more. What verse in Scripture, oh, Seth, you're spelling. Scripture, there we go, talks about doing whatever you do with all your heart for the Lord. Now, just for the record, I know the verse is Colossians 3:23, but I'm doing this as an example in case I can't remember. Whatever you do, do your work heartily as for the Lord and not for people. By the way, notice it says NASB. I asked it to always pull up and use the NASB 1995 version because that's the version that I memorized scripture in and the most used to it, and it's an incredibly accurate version. And I want to end with this. Whatever you do, do it for God, and man, you're free. If you're serving people, serve them, but don't do it ultimately to please them. Do it to please your Father in heaven. Do it to please the one who created you, the one who loves you, the one who died for you, the one who will grow you and bless you. When you do that, you are free. People don't control you, and you serve the King of Kings. I hope you found this super helpful. Click the link below if you want to receive information like this, content like this every single day, and have fun with AI.